collectible card game deck building, dungeon exploration and resource balancing, real-time combat challenges. Welcome to Hand of Fate. This is a game that defies genre classification. Guys, if you've been feeling that every game you play kind of feels the same, Hand of Fate is going to be like a fresh breeze on a hot summer day for you. Here's how the game works. Step 1. You select a level that you want to play. Each level has its own set of rules and restrictions which may help or hinder you depending on how you've built your deck. Step 2. Build the deck that you'll play for both your encounters and your items. If you really enjoy customizing your deck, this is a great feature. If you don't sweat it too much because there is a button that'll just use the recommended card option, which automatically builds the deck to what the developer thinks would be best to play that level with. Okay, now the game begins. Think of this as a tarot dungeon. You choose the direction you want your little token to move to explore the next card. The goal is to move to the bottom of the dungeon and fight the boss. Cards on the table fall into one of three categories: events, challenges, or combat. Sometimes one card can be all three depending on what choices you make. Event cards will ask you a question or request that you make a sacrifice of food, gold, health, or other things for the chance at a higher return on other rewards. Challenges will be a game of choice. You'll have 4 cards and you have to pick the success on them. The odds will change depending on the card, the event, and other circumstances. Alright, and combat is just what it sounds like. It's a fight to the death. Hone your skills against bandits, skeletons, or much worse. Remember that every move on the main board costs food. If you run out of food, you'll start to lose health. When you're in combat, you'll also lose health. If you die, game over, start over again. So the first thing I want to call out as being awesome about this game is the graphics. When we think indie games, typically, we're stuck with lower graphics, maybe a higher story quality, better game mechanics, but there's only so much a one-man studio can do. Hand of Fate goes beyond that. It looks beautiful. It makes me feel like I'm playing Dark Souls or The Witcher or any other AAA game because it's so refreshing to be able to have really good graphics while playing what I would consider to be an indie game.
All the world is a game board, and us men and women merely players.
Voice acting is superb. I don't know if the guy I'm fighting with or against is really an enemy or just a companion that I'm playing a card game with. It's really hard to tell what's happening in the story. There are hints throughout the game in both your dialogue as well as like a little ghost appearing and a few other things. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but there is a story there. The main part of the game is not about the story. It's about you facing down this dude in a game of cards. A hand of fate, if you will. The switch between building a deck, exploring the deck, and doing combat and challenges is really wild because it's like you're playing 3 different games, but it all flows together and it's very cohesive, so it doesn't pull you out of the immersion of the game to be jumping between all 3 of these. It almost feels more like I'm reading chapters in an old Conan book than anything else. The cards are very well done, has a very high replay value, which is good because as you move through the game, you're going to unlock more and more cards. Combat feels a little bit like Batman Arkham Asylum with how smooth it flows with the punches, the kick combos, using your sword or whatever weapon that you happen to have, and being able to dodge and counter. Bosses in combat are hard, so if you're not a combat-oriented person or someone who likes fighting games as far as what you're seeing here in the video, I wouldn't recommend getting this game. Deck building can be avoided because you can always just choose the recommended build. The dungeon exploration and the combat are the meat and bones of this game. So if you don't like either one of those, or you really dislike one of the 2 of them, you're not going to do good. I have never seen a game like this. I have never seen a game combine these types of genres together, and they did it really well. For being the standard for any other games that come out that are like this, they've set a very high bar. So what don't I like? There's nothing I don't like. I can't think of a single thing that was annoying about this game. Take it as you will. I will recommend this to you guys all day long. If you are someone who really enjoys the combat and the card building and everything, you should get it now. $30 is a pretty good deal for it. Or you can wait until it goes on sale. It usually does go on sale on Steam. This is Bez of Doom with Rogue Ocean Gaming. Hope you enjoyed this 5-minute review. And for those that get the game, please feel free to post here and say what your experiences are.
One more round. You have earned it. Let us approach the Mother of Plagues.